Morning, everyone.
Good morning, Mayor.
Nice to hear a friendly voice and first thing out. Okay, we should probably go ahead and get started here because this will be a little bit longer than the usual press conference, and I'll try to move as quickly as I can. But I do appreciate you all taking a little more time with me today to talk about essentially what is a summary of the most important things we will be working on this first year of this four-year term. So it's filled with a lot of information, and I'll look forward to answering your questions afterwards. Several weeks ago, as you know, I was given the honor of serving a third term as mayor by the people of the city. And I wanted to say to them directly that I'm very humbled by their support. I'm very reassured by your alignment with the goals that we set out a number of years ago, in your confidence in the path that we have traveled together these last few years. And let me tell you, I will work very hard for you once again. Elections serve several important functions, in addition, of course, to preserving the great American tradition of government by the people and for the people. Elections also help leaders better understand community needs and the goals to which the people themselves aspire. Now it's time to put the politics of the election behind us and set these goals for the future ahead of us. My administration's proposals for the next year can be summed up simply. I want to keep our economy very strong. I want the transportation infrastructure that meets future demands. I want to continue to make government work smarter. I want to strengthen public safety. And finally, I want Lincoln to take a responsible approach to its environment. Lincoln's economy is thriving. The private and public sectors are working together like never before. I think we can all agree to that. We're attracting investment, creating jobs, and expanding opportunity. Our results today have been unprecedented. Around $1 billion in new investment, the lowest unemployment rate in the country, and a growing reputation for technology and information innovation. Keeping our economy strong will require continued diligence. Over the next year, my administration's economic strategy will include the ongoing expansion of broadband services across the community, including a plan to take high-speed internet to every home in Lincoln. High-speed internet is essential to attracting new investment, creating new jobs, and giving children in every household in Lincoln access to better education. This effort will transform the city, making us even more competitive for the 21st century businesses and workers we need to attract to succeed. We must continue to invest in job creation and foster economic growth. Recently, we announced the city's selection of the EDO partnership for a visionary new project in the East Downtown near 21st and N Street, the Telegraph District. As I said at the project's announcement, the $50 million investment is a game changer that will open the door to even greater investment in that area. City Hall will work closely with our local entrepreneurs to make this incredible vision a reality soon. Job creation and growth are community-wide goals, and we must ensure that we seize all opportunities to make progress across the city. For example, stakeholders are currently negotiating the Victory Park project, a redevelopment of the Veterans Administration campus near 70th and O Street. The proposal would provide needed housing for veterans and other older adults. It will help make the case to the federal government that the new Veterans Clinic should be built on the VA campus. The project could lead to millions of dollars of private sector dollars and federal dollars invested in East Lincoln. I want to say to my fellow veterans, I will demand that this project preserve and enhance services to veterans in Lincoln, not diminish them. Another example, an exciting new project is beginning to take shape at South Point Pavilions Mall. The sporting goods retailer, Shields, is seeking to implement a large-scale new store concept that will increase our tax base and make South Point an even more attractive shopping destination for visitors to the city. I also want to work closely with the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce to implement the strategic recommendations for future economic growth that were identified by Angelou Economics. Angelou's roadmap for developing a world-class workforce, attracting talent, and building infrastructure will further strengthen Lincoln's position as a globally competitive city. One aspect of the Angelou report is an emphasis on infrastructure. In addition to high-speed internet infrastructure, Angelou reminds us of what we already know: a roads network that speeds commerce, reduces traffic congestion, and increases safety is paramount to our city's success. In that regard, the South Beltway and the North Cornhusker Interchange projects are the most critical pieces of Lincoln's future road networks. Highway 2's growing traffic congestion increases commute times. It's doing so already, and decreases safety. The South Beltway will relieve the pressure and lay the foundation for future growth in South Lincoln. As Lincoln and Omaha continue to grow closer, North Lincoln's road networks reaching to the north and the east is presenting similar challenges. The road configuration at 33rd Street, Adams, and Cornhusker Highway is no longer adequate for North Lincoln's growing traffic issues. Train crossings at key points, coupled with traffic growth, have greatly increased the incidence of train-motor vehicle conflict, a dangerous situation. A new North Cornhusker interchange will reduce these conflicts, increasing safety and reducing driver frustration. The South Beltway and the North Cornhusker interchange cannot be accomplished by the city alone. The Lancaster County Board will play a significant role in the future of these critical projects. I'm working closely with the board to ensure adequate funding is available through the Railroad Transportation Safety District, which is a joint city-county body. I believe a compromise solution exists that will allow the county board to deal with its budget challenges while still ensuring the funding we need to move forward on two street projects that are critical to our future. Providing basic support for alternative forms of transportation diminishes traffic congestion by taking drivers off the road. That's why walking and biking must be part of our transportation solutions. We need to keep up with our sidewalk maintenance and continue to develop our trails. The in-street bikeway will fill a critical gap in our trail system and provide a safe, convenient route for bikers to traverse the city. A federal grant and private money will help initiate a bike sharing program. These are relatively inexpensive projects that reduce pressure for far more expensive road construction projects. They must be a part of a comprehensive program moving forward. Sustainability is more than protecting our environment. It is rapidly becoming a standard of commerce and a way of attracting young people and economic investment. Those cities that are falling behind on sustainability risk their communities' energy reliability, clean air, clean water, and even their attractiveness to new young employees and young businesses. It's also time to find a solution to Lincoln's very low rate of recycling. We're not in the top 10 of anybody's list in this particular area. Only 22% of recyclable materials are diverted from our landfill, an unacceptable level of waste that places pressure to spend millions expanding the landfill earlier than necessary. Lincoln residents pay considerably more than other Nebraskans for waste hauling and recycling. A low rate of recycling combined with higher consumer costs suggests that action needs to be taken. A committee comprised of waste haulers, community members, and others have examined a number of solutions ranging from banning cardboard from the landfill all the way to a more comprehensive change that would dramatically alter our waste collection system. It is now time for a public discussion of those recommendations and to begin planning how we will provide a more successful waste diversion system. On another front, the city will continue to explore means of reducing its carbon footprint in its own public buildings, providing savings for taxpayers through reduced long-term energy costs. Finally, in this area, a hazardous waste collection facility is under serious discussion, which would allow Lincoln residents a year-round option for the disposal of hazardous materials that must be kept out of the landfill. Making government work smarter is a key, of course, to building trust between City Hall and Lincoln residents. Citizens want assurance that the city is doing all it can to be effective and efficient with community resources in everything that it does. In the coming months, my administration will be working on a new initiative related to that and other processes, other efficiency processes. Performance management focuses on producing results and developing a performance-based organizational culture and management structure to improve outcomes. The initiative will help us identify efficiencies, measure success, and produce better results overall for the public. As part of our third term preparation, we are also carefully examining City Hall's organizational structure. As community goals and expectations change, we must scrutinize our operations to ensure that our organizational structure is aligned with the goals we set. Reorganization must be a part of the public discussion moving forward. I also want to take Lincoln's unprecedented level of transparency and community involvement to an even higher level. Our Taking Charge initiative has brought thousands of residents to the decision-making table and discussion, and more clearly defined the city's general fund challenges for them. Now we are working to extend the initiative to Lincoln's complex street construction budget, so Lincoln residents get a deeper and broader understanding of our transportation priorities and easy access to information that allows them to participate in developing solutions. We will also tackle some really tough budget challenges. The city's police and fire pension is in good shape compared to cities around the country, but that doesn't mean that we can ignore the fact that the stock market crash of 2008 created a large gap between revenues generated and the city's long-term obligations to our current and retired police officers and firefighters. We are moving forward on a committee jointly appointed by the mayor and the city council to examine the pension plan and to recommend potential changes. Another budget challenge is even more immediate. The city golf program is facing the same trend that golf operations nationally are facing, that is, a declining number of golfers has resulted in more golf courses, both private and public, than the communities can reasonably support. A recent study of the city's golf program recommended changes to improve the program's financial status, which changes have been implemented. However, it's becoming apparent that will not be enough. We will have some hard choices to make about the golf program this year. During my time as mayor, we've reduced the size of the city workforce by about 120 persons, a cut of about 5%, without significantly reducing service to the public. We have made tough budget choices in the past by taking an unflinching look at what works and what can be improved. Those successes give me confidence that we can deal with these upcoming tough problems as well. Keeping our communities safe has always been the most fundamental responsibility for city government here and elsewhere. As mayor, it is my duty to identify the most pressing public safety needs and to recommend plans as to how we can meet those needs. Improving response times for Lincoln's Fire and Rescue is our most urgent public safety need at this time. We addressed a portion of this problem in April when voters overwhelmingly approved a plan to reposition fire stations and place new stations in high-growth areas, while at the same time replacing our 911 communication system. But more remains to be done. Lincoln's fire engines and ladder trucks have not been routinely replaced since 2001. As a result, an aging fleet threatens our response capability. Old fire engines require high levels of maintenance, taking fire crews out of action and costing taxpayers more money. Of our 18 frontline apparatus, 8 are more than 15 years old. It is time to update the fleet, and we will move ahead on this very rapidly. Lincoln Fire and Rescue incident response is up 22% in the past decade. Last year alone, fire and rescue incidents increased by 8.4%, straining a department that is already understaffed. We have to make a commitment to bring more firefighters on board to protect the public from the rising numbers of medical and fire emergency calls. During the last budget, we added police officers. We will continue to look for opportunities to improve police protection. But with police calls down 16% over the last decade, it becomes clear that the immediate focus should be on fire and rescue emergency response. But we all know that here in Lincoln, public safety is broader than police, fire, and 911. Our community safety is greatly enhanced when we invest, for example, in our children's future. As our public safety director, Tom Cassidy, reminded us, the more kids that we can keep busy between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., and during the summer months, the less crime we face. Our partnership with the Lincoln Public Schools and community learning centers is paying big dividends by keeping kids out of trouble and involved in positive activities. We need to find ongoing funding to stabilize and expand the community learning center programming. Former United States Senator and New York Knicks basketball great Bill Bradley once said, "Ambition is the path to success. Persistence is the vehicle you arrive in." I ran for re-election as mayor of this great city to get things done, to provide the vehicle that drives us to success. The agenda of issues I am presenting today for the next year is an ambitious path to continued success. But it is not the only path. My colleagues on the City Council have ideas they want to explore with the community. The people of Lincoln themselves continue to articulate new ideas as well. So we will work closely with both groups to develop community consensus and to guide us to a brighter tomorrow, and we will soldier on evermore. So thank you for listening to all of this. I know it will take you a while to sort through it, but let me try to answer whatever questions you may have about parts that interested you.
What kind of reception are you getting from the county board on their more active involvement in the transportation?
We're getting a great reception. The county board really wants to be cooperative. I truly believe they are doing their very best. And they've had a tough situation with their budget, as you know, for the last couple of years, but they've positively responded to some initial drafts of an agreement that would try to accommodate both entities' needs.
One person asked me on Twitter, Lincoln is playing catch up with infrastructure needs. Can we get ahead without breaking the bank?
Yes, we can get ahead without breaking the bank. In fact, we've been catching up like crazy these last few years without breaking the bank. We've caught up a lot with our water infrastructure, with the sewer and storm sewer infrastructure. We've caught up a lot with our road infrastructure, but we have more to do in that area. And we've caught up with sidewalks quite a bit in the last few years. And we're far from broke. We're in the best shape financially than almost any city in America. Our bond ratings are high. We're in good shape.
What about a new central library Pershing location? Doesn't Lincoln deserve a world-class library?
Yeah, I'd love to have a world-class everything. But we're talking about the first year here. And these are our priorities for the first year. I'm supportive of a new library, but we have not at this particular point in time put it on the runway. It may well be there soon. There's more work to do on that project, but we're very interested in that.
Possibility of Pershing being used?
There's always the possibility.
Do you favor that?
Possibilities, pardon me?
Do you favor that? Are you
Well, it all
looking at that with
depends.
interest?
Sure, I'm interested. I mean, it all depends on the practicality of the proposition that's brought to us. I can see Pershing being private. I can see it private in a renovated building. I can see it private in a new building. I can see it public-private. I can see it public. It depends on so many factors. If somebody gave us $50 million to build a wonderful new library on that space tomorrow by taking down Pershing and building it there, I'd do that. But everything depends on the nature of the proposition.
How much more are we paying as far as recycling efforts? I mean, if we're only doing 22%
Yeah, how much are we paying?
Yeah, paying more than other Nebraskans for.
You know, I don't have those details in front of me now, but I can have Public Works meet with you and give you the details from that study, if you're interested.
Are you, on the recycling, are you gonna offer a proposal, or is this just community discussion?
Or is it, pardon me?
Just community discussion?
Oh, it's fully my intent to offer a proposal at the appropriate time.
You've been doing this for 3 terms. I mean, you've probably learned a lot. What are you gonna do differently from previous years?
I'm going to work faster and harder. My whole department level staff is all jacked up to do great things these next 4 years, and they really are. You wouldn't believe all the different ideas they've brought forward that we've integrated into things we've begun in the past and things we've heard from the community. I truly believe this is, taken as a whole, the best city government we've ever had, and they'll show you that in the next 4 years. Anything else?
I guess I would have one small question. Going back to Pershing, is your openness on the public-private, is this a little bit of a difference? It seems like you would lean more in the past towards, I thought, towards going more private development on that site rather than public development. Some kind of a major development there.
Well, I don't think I've changed my perspective at all over time. And I've always set down criteria. It's never been that it be private or that it be public. It has been that a prominent space in the city is used in an appropriate and city-enhancing way, but it's difficult to use that site and make decisions with a building sitting on it, and with no good propositions to choose from at this particular point in time. All right, you good to go? Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming and listening.